When you are pushing the ball, you have a clear feeling, which is that the moment you push is using your upper body and your hand together to control this ball. That means keeping the body close to the racket and the body and racket close to the ball at the same time. Only in this way, when we push the ball, can you feel that you are using the body and hand together to push together to control this short ball. Only then can you push the short ball more stably and process the ball better. When my foot goes in, my hand goes in, but my upper body center of gravity doesn't lean in. You just have a feeling of reaching out. Then if I reach out to push, did everyone see? I only have the racket close to the ball. But what? The body and the ball. The body and the racket will be very far apart. In this case, I have no way to use my body to control my hand and thus control this ball well. Then the stability of pushing will significantly decrease. Therefore, what must everyone do when stepping forward? Actively press the upper body in. Regardless of what short ball it is, I'll do one for like you. This. Look, short push, right? This is controlled very stably. Then what else? Long push. Also upper body coming in, right? Flick, you see, upper body comes in. Including the forehand glide. Also, you see, upper body comes in. Including the backhand everyone, flip. Look, my center of gravity comes in. My upper body comes in. Every shot relies on the upper body and hand together to control this ball. You see, its stability. Isn't it high? This is the first point. What is the second point? The second point is when we push the ball. How to control the framework of the hand. First of all, actually, when we push with the forehand. Many friends pushing. Let me show you my hand. This is a very incorrect way to push. See? This is a very incorrect. Wait, look, did everyone see? Why are all these balls so high? Have you all noticed? When I pushed these balls, I opened my racket tip to the outside. That is to say, I have an open racket. The edge of the racket facing. Everyone like this, a state of pushing the ball. Right? This state of pushing the ball. Everyone look, what does it become? It is just shoveling the bottom. Shoveling the bottom of the ball. The more you shovel the bottom of the ball, the easier the ball pops up high. Right? Everyone, watch me again when I push the ball. The overall state of my racket 1, 2. See? Come, use pen hold again, right? One more, right? Shake hand. Okay, one more pen hold. Everyone, look, I didn't push these balls high. It's because everyone look at my obvious change. Which is I changed from the racket tip pointing outward. To what now? Racket tip pointing down. At the moment you push the ball, you have to feel that I prioritize using the racket's head. The position of the racket tip to contact the ball. Instead of opening this wrist and using the lower part of the racket, not using here to push. Everyone, I will do a wrong one for you. Everyone take a look. It won't be pushed well this way, right? You see my racket? Racket tip comes down. Isn't it able to be pushed? Pen hold is the same. You see, if the wrist is bent outwards, pushing will make it high. Let the racket tip hang a bit, pushing will make it low. When you let the racket tip drop a bit, what is your racket? It definitely won't be very flat, right? Everyone can understand it this way, looking from the side. Racket flat is a state like this. When I drop my racket, tip a little. You see, doesn't this racket have a certain tilt? That is to say, it is not completely flat. Racket tip pointing down, you have a tilt. If you have a tilt, it means your racket face isn't this flat when pushing the ball. You won't directly shovel the bottom of this ball, so it won't be easy to push it high. Come, I'll demonstrate another one for you. 1, 2, go. Right? Pen hold again. Look, 1, 2, go. One more. 1, 2. Now I will tell everyone about controlling. 1 point is what? That is our elbow joint, including our backswing and storing power. Everyone look. Actually, many friends can't control a flexible wrist. Once your flexible wrist opens up, what does this opening action equate to? Isn't it equivalent to your wrist storing power? So you exert force at the end. Your wrist gets messy, and the ball FLIs out, right? Okay, then we not only need to restrict our wrist, but also restrict what? We also need to restrict our elbow joint, which can also be said to be what? Storing power in the elbow joint, forearm, including upper arm storing power. When stepping in, they will pull their hand back. They will pull their hand back because they want to add quality when pushing the ball. The more they want to add quality, the more they definitely want to store power, the more they want the motion, arm and wrist back. Isn't that so? Therefore, for pushing, whether short push or long push, everyone look. They are all what? Look, this is a short and a long push. Did everyone see? When I stepped in to push these few times, I wasn't stepping in while pulling my hand back. This is something that absolutely must not happen. What does our hand only need to do? It just needs to follow our body. Follow our footsteps and center of gravity, and directly bring the hand, bring it in, just directly bring the hand in, and directly bring the hand in. It's equivalent to us not having this backswing and storing power, right? Many friends say, your short push is fine, but for a long push, if I don't store power, then I won't be able to produce a quality long push. Don't worry, because what is a long push about? It's about suddenness. It's not about how hard you hit, right? What is needed is suddenness. How can we achieve suddenness? Isn't it that the smaller your motion, the more sudden, smaller motion means faster and more sudden. Then if when I short push, I do this. And when I want a long push, I do this. Actually, look, you see, if you were my opponent, when my hand pulls back and sets up like this, wouldn't you protect yourself? The opponent might be going to chop five long ones. Wouldn't you subconsciously step back a bit and wait, right? Friends, then do you think if my opponent is already prepared, does it still matter how far I pull my hand or how hard I push? So what do we want? We want suddenness. My short push is stepping in like this, without a hand. Backswing, right? My long push is the same. You see, this way, the suddenness of my long push will be strong, right? Because the amplitude of my backswing is identical. That is to say, before I contact the ball, the opponent has no way to tell from my backswing to perceive whether I'm going to short push or long push. Okay, now I will explain how to execute a short push. Short push. Everyone, look, what kind of feeling should we primarily look for? When we take the body that the streamer just talked about. Center of gravity, including this backswing and hand things. After framing these wrist elements well, short pushing will be very simple. Why is it very simple? Everyone, actually, look, short push. It is a process of what? Borrowing force. You see me doing it easily, looking like I use no force. Actually, that's right. I really didn't use force. Why didn't I use force? Because I borrowed the opponent's power. What power did I borrow? I borrowed the power from when the opponent's ball bounces on the table. During the rising phase, borrowing its power during the rising phase. Therefore, the difficulty, in short, comes from whether we can anticipate the ball's spin and its placement with a quick judgment. If you have a quick judgment and a quick step in, only then can you catch the rising phase after the ball bounces, or even right off the bounce. If our reaction is ever slow, once when we step in, we miss the rising phase and reach the highest point or even the falling phase. At such times, it becomes very difficult. Let me show everyone why it's difficult to push. If I can catch the rising phase. Everyone, look, actually borrowing the ball's power. I just place my hand there. I don't need to use any power at all. 1, 2, 3. This ball is pushed very short, but once I step in late, what does it form? It forms. What is this concept? Being late is equivalent to not being able to borrow the ball's power. That means I'm entirely relying on my own control of the ball's power, relying on my own controllability, relying on my own touch to force. A short control. You see, I am now at the falling phase. If I really want to force a short control, it's very difficult, hard to control, right? So we must catch this bounce point. In the rising phase, you borrow its power and just place your hand there. Once this ball bounces over, your hand doesn't need to move at all. Look, rising phase, just place it. Did you see? One more, serve a bit rising more towards here. Just place it, including pen hold for everyone to see. Just place it. Right? Look, rising phase, just place it. Isn't it very stable? Look, regardless of pen hold or shake hand. I didn't do anything. I just got my footwork in place, pressed my center of gravity and upper body in. Racket tip pointing down. During the rising phase, I just placed my hand in. Completed. Your short push is already completed. You don't need to do anything else. If footwork is not in place, upper body center of gravity hasn't come in. Or when stepping in, you flick your wrist, pulling the wrist or forearm. If any of these situations occur, you absolutely won't be able to execute your short push. If you don't believe it, take a look. Hey, foot isn't in place. What is this equivalent to? I'm relying solely on my hand to control it. This way you can't push it. Well, if the center of gravity reaching out to control, it won't be good either, right? Then if we flick our wrist or forearm, it's even harder to control. But if you do all of these correctly, you only need to find a rising bounce point. And that's it. Look, just find a bounce point. And this ball can already be pushed well. 1, 2, go. Right? Very comfortable. 1, 2, use the backhand to push. Just now, many friends asked how to backhand short push. Actually, it's the same, right? footwork and center of gravity, right? Plus no backswing and no wrist flick. Place the racket with the tip down. Racket tip comes down. Look, it's the same. Look, right? You see, the racket tip comes down, right? One more. Look, isn't this able to execute the short
everyone.
push? Well, again,
look,
isn't the method the same? Pen hold, backhand is the same. Look, rising phase. Just place it. This is it. Short push is just that simple. Everyone only needs to remember one rising bounce point. And that will do. When you can't push it short, you should think about your center of gravity and footwork issues. Do you have the issue of taking a backswing to store power? Is your contact point too late? If you get all these right, it's impossible for you not to short push well. That's the first point. Then the second one. Now I will explain to everyone again. Long push, how to achieve a fast and sudden long push. Now I will demonstrate a few for everyone. Come everyone. First, long push is the same, right? Prepare, step in, push, right? One more, prepare, step in, push. One more, good. Prepare, step in, push. Actually, compared to the short push, if we switch to a long push, we need to pay attention to the following points. If we are receiving a serve, besides being aggressive and fast, if everyone also wants to improve stability, I suggest everyone first put the contact point of the long push later. That is to say, let's not be like the short push right off the bounce. Pushing this way, actually, in many crucial moments, especially when a bit nervous. The difficulty of this fast push is relatively high. It's not to say it's impossible. Which point is the most stable? The most stable is the highest point phase. The most stable is the highest point. Let's look. Did everyone see my rhythm, right? 1, 2, go. I didn't say off the bounce. 1, I need to have an active pause first, right? Before executing the shot, right? Pause. Then execute, right? Again, pause, then execute. Look, I must first control my rhythm well and find it well. The first thing is everyone must learn what? Finding the point. How to find this point. You can count the beat to yourself. Have a pause. 1, 2, DA. See? In the middle. Don't rush 1 minus 2 minus 3. That means having a sense of active pause, a sense of cadence to find the point. Secondly, it's about the moment of exerting force, right? For this exertion of force, I must reiterate again. Long push, right? It is an active exertion when actively exerting force, many friends, they want to pull the hand back for backswing, open up their wrist, they just want to what? Push down like this. This way, out of 10, you won't land not a single one. Then what should we do? Still, must control your forearm well. During the backswing, you can even have no backswing, it doesn't matter. Secondly, our wrist doesn't need to open up. Then where should we add force from? Come, let me do one for everyone. 1, everyone 2, DA. What is added? What is added is when we wait for the contact power in the second half after contacting the ball. For short, push. I just place this racket in. I basically don't make any motion. For long, push. I actively use the rest of my forearm to send it down, pushing it forward and downward. Look. Did you see? One more, right? 1, 2. Did everyone see? After accurately finding the contact point, then what do we need? We need to use the forearm. But many friends push unstably. What do they rely on? They rely on the wrist. See? Look, if you flick your wrist, cause what problem? Everyone look, using the wrist to push hard. Maybe you can continue to flick it very flexibly. And when you are flicking your wrist, you cannot control the final state of your racket. You might end up flicking your wrist up, flicking it flat, or flicking it all like of which will affect the stability of this push. So we don't need to deliberately use our wrist to exert extra force. Just use your forearm. First, learn to use the forearm's power. Watch the forearm's power 1, 2, 1, go. 2. Now I will use pen hold to demonstrate. Everyone look. 1, 2, no backswing. Go. Center of gravity comes and then the rest of this forearm finishes the motion. 1, 2, go. This is already enough. Everyone, look. Actually, one is the other is a long push. Guys, look at the state of my upper body. The state of my body. You see, when I short push, this is my body state. Look again at my long push. Did everyone notice? When I am long pushing, what part of me is faster? My upper body. The moment of pressing the center of gravity in is faster. Did you see? When I short push, my body is what? Pressing slightly slower. The body, right? Pressing a bit more gently. Look, even how your body presses. Your body press is mostly pressing downwards. Because when you are short pushing, what are you primarily controlling? You are controlling the length of this ball